was gods, Nagas, Kinnaras, and the guardian of the eight quarters flocked to the Chitrakuta on that occasions. Shri made obeisance to them all, and the gods were glad to obtain the reward of their eyes. Raining flowers, the heavenly host exclaimed, Lord, we feel secure today. With great supplication, they described their terrible woes and returned joyfully to their several abodes. Hermits streamed in as they heard the news that Sri Rama, the writer of Raghu, has taken up his abode at Chitrakuta. The moon the moon of the solar rays felt protest when he saw the holy company with a cheerful countenance. The hermit pressed the Sri Rama, the chief of Ragula, into their bosoms and invoked their blessings on him, just in order to see them come true. As they gazed on the beauty of the Sita, Lakshmana, Sumatra, son, and Rama, they accounted all their spiritual practices fully rewarded. After paying them due honor, the Lord dismissed the holy throne and they practiced yoga contemplation. Contemplation yoga means japa. The action of looking thoughtfully at something for a long time is called the contemplation. The action of looking thoughtfully at something for a long time is called the contemplation. The action of looking thoughtfully at the something for a long time is called the contemplation. Japa, muttering of prayer. Muttering means a privately expressed complaint or expression or dissatisfaction is the motive. A privately expressed complaint or express of dissatisfaction is called the muttering. The privately expressed complaint or expression or dissatisfaction is called the muttering. The expression of dissatisfaction, japa muttering, and austerities, contemplation, japa muttering, and of prayers. Prayers. What do you mean by the prayers? Prayers means prayers means prayers means austerities. Prayers means a solemn request to help or expression of thanks addressed to God or another deity. Addressed to God or another deity. And austerities and perform sacrifices unmolested in their own retreat. Sacrifices means unmolested in their own retreat. Sacrifices means Sacrifices means an act of slaughtering an animal or person or surrendering a possession as an offering to a deity. Christ offering of himself in the purifications, unmolested in their own retreat. Unmolested means not left in peace, unmolested, left in peace in their own retreats. Retreats means withdraw from enemy force as a result of their superior power or after a defeat is called a retreat. Retreat means withdraw from enemy force as a result of their superior power or after a defeat is called a retreat. Withdraw from enemy force as a result of their superior power or after a defeat is called retreat. Withdraw from enemy force as a result of their superior power or their defeat is called a retreat. When the Kolas and the Bila got this news, they felt as delighted as though the nine heavenly treasures of the Kubera had found their ways on their own house. Nine heavenly treasures. What do you mean by the treasure? Treasure means a quantity of precious metal, gems, or other valuable object is called a treasure. A quantity of precious metal, gems, or other valuable object is called a treasure. Keep carefully is called treasures. Keep carefully is called that valuable or valued item is called a treasure. Keep carefully a valuable or the valuable item is called a treasure. So treasures of the Kubera had found their way to their own house with cups of leaves full of bulbs, roots, and fruits. They set forth as a pauper to gather gold as spoils. Gather pauper to gather gold as spoils. Spoils means diminution, destroy value or quality of. Harm the character of is called the spoil. Spoils. Harm the character of is called the spoil. Spoil. Be extremely or aggressively eager for is called the spoil. Be extremely or aggressively eager for is called the spoil. Such of them as had already seen the two brothers were cautioned about them by other who proceeded along the same road. Describing and hearing of Sri Rama's beauty, they all came and beheld the Lord of Raghus. Placing their offering before the Lord, they greeted him and regarded him with deep affection. They stood here and there, so as so many painted figures, thrilling all over with tears streaming from their eyes. Sri Rama perceived that they were all overwhelmed with emotions and addressing kind words to them, treated them all with honor, while they in their turn greeted the Lord again and again and with joined palms spoke to him in polite terms. Having seen your feet, O Lord, we all see secure now. Our good luck is responsible for your visit to this place, O Lord of Ayodhya. Blessed is the land, forest, path, and hills where you have planted your foot, my lord. Fortunate are the birds and the beasts of the forest, whose life has been drowned by your sides, and lucky as we all along with our family, in that we have been able to feast our eyes on your beauty. You have chosen an excellent spot whereon to take up your abode. You will be comfortable here during all the seasons. We will render all sort of services to you, keeping away elephants and lions, serpents and tigers. The dreary forest, hills, caves, and ravines have all been explored by us, food by food. O Lord, we will take you on hunting to a different haunts of games and will show you lakes and springs and other reservoir of water. We and our people are your servants, therefore do not hesitate to command us, O Lord. The same gracious Lord whom Vedic texts fail to describe and the mind of the hermits cannot reach, listen to the word of the Bhilas even as a father listens to the word of his children. Love alone attracts Sri Rama. Let those who are curious take note of it. Sri Rama then gratified all the foresters by addressing to them gentle words sweetened by love. Dismissed by him, they bowed their heads to him and departed. And discussing the virtue of the Lord, they returned to their respective homes. In this way, Sita and the two brothers lived in the forest, delighting the god and hermits. Ever since the Lord of the Raghu came and took up his abode, there is forest become a fountain of blessing, trees of various kinds, blossoms, and bore fruit, and lovely creepers that coiled about them formed an excellent canopy. They were all naturally beautiful like the tree of heaven. It seemed if the latter had abandoned the celestial roof and migrated to that spot. The sting of bees made an exceedingly sweet humming sound and delightful breeze breathed soft, cool, and fragrant. The blue jay, cuckoo, parrots, chatkas, chakravaka, chakoras, and other birds delighted the ears and ravished the soul with their varied note. Elephants, lions, monkeys, bulls, and deers all sported together, free from enmity. Herds of the deer were enraptured when they enraptured. What do you mean by the enraptured? Enraptured means give intense pleasure or joy to. Scar the enraptured. Give intense pleasure or joy to. Scar the enraptured. Give intense pleasure or joy to. Scar the enraptured. Give intense pleasure or joy to. Scar the enraptured. Give intense pleasure or joy to. Scar the enraptured. Give intense pleasure or joy to. Scar the enraptured when they behave the beauty of the shriRam are roving about in search of prey. All the forest of God existing in the universe were filled with envy at the sight of Sri Rama's forest. The heavenly river Ganga Saraswati, the sun-born Yamuna Narmada, the daughter of the Mount Makela, the blessed Godavari, and the various other lakes, seas, streams, and rivers all extol the Mandakini, the eastern and the western hills, from and behind which the sun is believed to emerge and disappear every morning and evening. Mount Kailasha, the abode of Lord Shiva, Mandara, Meru, all about of God and mountain like the Himalaya, all sing praise of the Chitrakoot, all sing praises. Praises means praises. Praise is a form of social interaction, expressed recognition, reassurance, or admiration. Praise in expressively verbally as well as body language. Praise with excessively verbally as well as body language. Praise expressed verbally as well as body language. Praise expressed verbally as well as body language. Praise expressed verbally or body language. Praise expressed verbally or body language. Praise expressed verbally or body language. Scarlet praises of Blair was the deity presiding over Vidya's range, whose delight was more than that his heart could contain to think that he had won such great renown without and much exertion. Renown means what we mean by the renown. Renown means the condition of being known or talked about by many people is called renown. The condition of being known or talked about by many people is called the renown. The condition of being known or talked about by many people is called the renown. The condition of being known or talked about by many people is called the renown. The condition of being known or talked about talked about by many people is called the renown. Blessed and full of merit are all the birds and deer, keepers, trees, and the various species of the herbage of the Chitrakoot. Herbage means herbage means the right of pasture another person's land. The right of pastures on another person's land. Herbage added collectively, especially edible part with cattle, sheep, and grace, agriculture, the vegetarian portion. Herbage is equal to so declare the God's day and night. We declare the God's day and night. Having beheld the chief of Prabhu lies, those who had eyes attained the end of their life and were rid of sorrow. Press and inanimated objects rejoice at the touch of the very dust of his feet and become eligible to attaining the highest state blessedness. The forest and hill where the ocean of this Sri Rama took up his abode were naturally lovely, auspicious, and the holiest of the holy. How could it be possible to glorify them? The exquisite beauty Sri Ramayana of the Sri Ramayana, Sri Rama. Forest where Sita Lakshmana and Sri Rama ke Sri Rama settled, taking leave of the ocean of the milk and bidding abode in Ayodhya could not be described even by 100,000 sheshas, each with a thousands pairs of tongues. How then can I describe it at some length any more than a tortoise living in a puddle can lift Mount Mandara? Lakshmana waited upon Sri Rama in thoughts, words, and deed with an amiability and devotions more than one could tell. Gazing on the feet of Sita and Rama every moment and conscious of their love for him, Lakshmana never recalled, even in a dream, his younger brother Shatrugna, father, mother, and even his home. In Sri Rama's company, Sita lived a happy life, forgetting her town, Ayodhya family, and Shri Rama 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 and Shri Rama. She ever watching the moonlight phase. She Rama's company. Sheeta lives a happy life, forgetting her town, family, and the home. Even watching the moonlight face of her beloved lord, she was extremely glad, like a young of the Chatura, but finding her lord's affection grow from day to day. She remained happy as a Chaturaka, but during the day, her mind was so enormous of the Sri Rama's meet that the forest appeared to her as dear as a thousand Ayodhyas. Here was the hut of the leaves in the company of her most beloved lord, while fawn and the birds constitutes her beloved family. The holy hermit appeared to her as her own father-in-law and their spouses as her mother-in-law, while her diet consisting of bulbs, fruits, and food tastes like ammonia shared with her spouse, even the lovely litter of leaves they delighted her as hundred of the cupid's own beds. Can the charm of the sensual enjoyment ever enchantment her whose very look confers the sovereignty of a sphere? Fixing their thoughts on Sri Rama, his devotees finds the pleasure of sense as worth no more than a piece of the truth. It is no wonder that then is the case of Sita, Sri Rama's beloved consort and the mother of the universe. The Lord of Raghu would do and say only that which would please Sita and the Lakshmana. He would narrate old legends and the stories to which Lakshmana and Sita would listen with great delight. Every time Sri Rama thought of Ayodhya, his eyes filled with tears. The gracious Lord becomes sad when he recalled his father and the mother, his family and brothers, and particularly the affection and humility and the devotion of the Bharata. But he recovered himself when he realized that the time was unpropitious. Perceiving this, Sita and Lakshmana felt distress even as the shadow of a man behaved just like him when he saw the condition of his beloved consort and his brother Lakshmana, the self-possessed and compassionate Rama, the delighter of the Raghus and the soother of his devotee art, began to narrate some sacred legends, hearing which Lakshmana and Sita felt relieved. Accompanied by Lakshmana and Sita, Sri Rama shone in his hut of leaves even as Indra, who dwells in the Amravati with his spouse Sachi and his sons Jayanta. The Lord look after Sita and Lakshmana in the same way as the eyelid protect the eyeballs, while Lakshmana in his turns wait upon Sita and the shriRama, the hero of the Roman is just as a fool who identify himself with his body, trained his own body in his way. The Lord who was friendly to birds and fond to the god and ascetics lived happily in the forest. Thus have I told the delightful story of Sri Rama's journey to the woods. Now here how Sumatra reached Ayodhya when the Nishana chief returned after escorting the Lord. He saw the minister Sumitra with the carrot. The minister was distressed to see the Nishana chief's words were to describe the agony which he felt at the moment, crying out Rama, Rama, Sita, Lakshmana. The sea Sumatra dropped off the ground, utterly helpless. And sorry, while the horse keep looking Shri Rama, 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 Shri Rama. While the horse keeping Sheila, keep looking on the sound, south and need Sheila, 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 dropped off the ground, utterly helpless, while the horse kept looking on the south and east. They were as restless as the birds showed of their wing. They would neither eat grass nor drink water, while their eyes keep shedding tears. The whole party of the Nishada was distressed to see the horse of the Shriram, the chief of Raghuline. Then recovering himself, the Nishada said, Sumantra, cease sorrowing now. You are the man of wisdom and knower of the highest truth. Therefore, compose yourself, realizing that fate is unpropitious to you, narrating various reasons in soft accents. He took him by force and seated him in the carriage, but overpowered by grief, he could not drive the carriage. The agony of separation from Rama, the chief of Raghuline, was severe in his heart. The horses would not move along the road, they were getting fatiguedly. It seemed as if a wild animal had been caught and put in harness. They would topple down and turn to look behind, turn away from the Rama and smarting with a deep anguish. In annoyance mentioning the same of Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, Janka's daughter, they would start neighing and regarded him with love. He could not anywhere describe the anguish and separation of the horse where they were as restless as a snake robbed of its gems. The Nishada was overcome with grief as he beheld the minister as his horse. He then called the four trusted grooms and sent them with a carrot Sumantra. Seeing of the carrot Goa returned, the agony of his separation was too deep in words, and the Nishada drove off the Ayodhya, plugged in sorrow every moment, agitated and stricken with grief. Sumantra lamented, accused his life without the hero of the Raghuras. The right body will not survive in the long run, but when the what is the piety, it will not earn fame by perishing at the same time of it, parting from the hero of Raghuras. This life has become a sink of infamy and sin. I wonder what prevents it from departing. As this is this wild soul has missed its chances. Oh, that my heart does not break in twins even now. Wrinkling his hands and beating his head to rule his lot like a miser who had lost his hordes of riches. It seemed as if it, after assuming the role of and posing as an eminent hero, a great warrior had taken to flight. The minister gave himself up to a grief like a discreet Brahmins of the noble descents who, though well versed in the Vedas and esteemed by the virtuous, has been deluded into the drinking. The minister fell in his heart agony as terrible as the virtuous and the discreet lady of neighing birth who is devoted to her lords in thoughts, words, and deed, and who is compelled by the evil destiny to live apart from her husband. His eyes were full of tears and lacking of in vision, his ears deep, and his mind was agitated and confused. Nay, his lips were getting dry and tongue has claved to the palate. Yet his life breath did not depart, the term of the exercise serving as a door to prevent the departure from his heart. He has turned pale and repealed the sides as if he had murdered his own father and the mother. Great was the despondency which preyed upon his mind as a result of the loss he had just suffered. He looked like a sinner mourning while on his way to the abode of the dead. What feared him, and he lamented within himself, what shall I see on reaching Ayodhya? Whosoever shall find the carrot devoid of Rama will shun my sight. When the agitated citizens run to make inquire of me, I shall answer them all with the heavy loads of my heart. When all the helpless and the affectionate mother cautions me, good father, what shall I say to them? When Lakshmana and the Sumitra put cautions to me, what glad things shall I convey to her? And when Rama's mother Kaushalya come running like a cow that has recently born a calf and has been thought fixed on it, the only answer I can make to her caution will the Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, Vidya's daughter, have left for the woods. Whoever cautioned me must be answered. This is the treat I shall have on the reaching Ayodhya. Again, when the king who is oppressed by grief and whose life hangs on the Ramas put questions to me, with what face shall I tell him in reply that having safely escorted the princess, I have come back. The moment he heard the news of the Lakshmana, Sita and Rama, the king will drop his body like a piece of straw on the swampy ground of my heart like a swamoy ground did not crack even though the moisture in the shape of my most beloved Rama has left. From this I concluded that in this very frame God has endowed me with a body fit for suffering the fortune of hell. Ashwintra was thus lamenting on this way. His carriage presently reached the bank of the Tamsa river. He politely dismissed the Nishada who fell at his feet and returned with a heart stricken with grief. The minister hesitated to enter the city as if he had murdered his own preceptor, killed a Brahmin, or butchered a cow. He passed the day sitting under a tree and found his opportunity only when it was dusk. He entered Ayodhya in the dark and slunk into the place, leaving the carrot at the gate. All who heard the news followed to the entrance of the royal palace to see the carrot. When they recognized the carrot and found the horses restless with the body wasting away as a hell in the sun, the citizens, both men and women, were so distressed as fish when the water runs short. The moment they heard of the minister's arrival, the whole Dainicum was restless. To him, the place looked as dreary as though it was abode of spirits. In deep agony, all the queen cautions him, but no reply came from him. His voice failed him. His ears could not hear, nor could his eyes see. He asked whomsoever he met, tell me where is the king? Seeing his confusion, the maid servant conducted him to Kaushalya's apartment. Arriving there, Sumatra found the king as pale as lustreless as a moon without nectar, without a seat, couch, or ornament. He lay on the ground in the most wretched conditions. Having a sigh, he lamented even as Yayati when he had fallen from the abode of the god. With the heart bursting with the grief, every moment he looked like somebody who had dropped from the heaven on account of his wings having been signed. The great lover of the Rama cried Rama Rama and again Rama Lakshmana and Sita. The minister on seeing the king exclaimed salutatory words Jaya Jiva and made obeisance to him by filing protest on the ground. The moment he heard this, the king rose in bewilderment and said, tell me, Sumantra, where is Rama? The king pressed Sumatra to his bosom as if a drawing man had laid hold on the support, setting him affectionately by his side, and with the eyes full of tears, the king asked him, appraise me, O Rama's welfare, O loving friend. Where are Rama, the lord of the Raghu Lakshmana and Vidya's daughter Sita? Have you brought them back, or have they left for the woods? At these words, tears rushed to their minister's eyes. Overwhelmed with grief, the king asked again, tell me the news about Sita, Rama, and Lakshmana. Recalling again and again Sri Rama's beauty, virtue, amiability, and the temperament, the king sorrowed within himself. Proclaiming my intentions to install him as regent, I exiled him to the woods. But the news neither delighted his soul nor grieved it. But my life did not depart, even though I had to part from such a son. Who can be such a great sinner as I? Take me, my friend, to the place where Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana are. If not, I sincerely tell you, my life is going to depart very soon. Again and again, the king asked the minister, communicate to me the news of my most beloved son. Quickly contrive my friend some means whereby you may be able to bring before my eyes Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita. Recovering himself, the minister gently replied, Your Majesty is learned and wise. Nay, you are leader of the brave and the courageous, my lord, and have always attended assemblies of the holy men, birth and death, all painful and the pleasurable experiences, loss and gain, union with and separation from the friends. All these, my lord, take place under the unalterable law of times and destiny, like the succession of the night and day. Fools rejoice to prosperity and mourn in the adversity, while the wise account both alike. Therefore, exercising your mature judgment, take up courage and cease sorrowing, O friend of all. Their first halt was made by the side of the Tamsa and the next on the bank of the celestial river Ganga. Having bathed and drunk water, Sita and the two brothers remained without food that day. The Nishada showed great hospitality and the party spent at night in the village of Singarpura. At daybreak, they sent for the milk of the banyan tree and the two brothers piled up their matted hair in the shape of the crown. The Rama friends Guha called for a boat and after helping Sita to board it, Sri Rama followed suit. Lakshmana placed on it an orderly way the two brothers and quicker and the himself boarded goes into it and himself boarded the boat on receiving the Lord's commands. Seeing my distress, the hero of Prabhu summoned up courage and addressed me in the sweet accent. Sai, convey my obeisancy to dear father and clasp his lotus feet again and again. Then falling at his feet, submit to him thus, Father, be not worried on my account. By your grace and the goodwill, and as a reward of your meritorious acts, my journey to and sponge in the wood will be happy and full of blessings. By your grace, dear Father, I shall have all sort of comforts on my journey, and having obeyed your command, shall come back safe to behold your lotus feet once more. Nay, consoling all my mother's fall at the feet again and again, and with profuse entreaties, make every effort, says Tulsidas, to see that the Lord of Ayodhya pass his days happily. Clasping my preceptor's lotus feet again and again, give him my message. Pray, so exhort the Lord of Ayodhya that he may no longer grieve on my account. Humbly approaching all the citizens and all my people, convey to them my submission. He alone is my friend in and every way, who ensured the king's happiness. Again, when Bharata comes, give him by my message, abandon not to path of the rectitude on assuming the office of the regent. Cherish your subject in thoughts, words, and deeds, and serve your mothers, treating them all alike. Again, brother, vindicate your brotherliness till the last day by serving our parents and the kinsmen. And last but not the least, look after the king in such a way that he may never sorrow on my account. Here Lakshmana's interposed some harsh words, but the Rama checked him and then entreated me, adjuring me by himself again and again, make no mention, dear father, of Lakshmana's childishness. Shri Ramaya Namah, Shri Ramaya Namah, Shri Ramaya Namah. Sending her greeting, Sita opened her lips to say something, but was overwhelmed with emotion. Her voice failed, her eyes filled with tears, and thrill ran through her body at this moment. In response to the hint from the chief of Raghushi Rama, the boatsman propelled the boat towards the opposite banks. So departed the crowns of the Raghures, while I stood looking on with a heavy load on my heart. How am I to describe my own anguish in that I came back alive bearing Rama's message? At this stage, Sumantra's speech failed him, overpowered as he was with grief and remorse due to the separation from Sri Rama. No sooner had he heard the carrot's speech than the king dropped to the ground, his heart burning with deep anguish, his mind being unhinged by excessive infatuation. He tossed about like a fish that has been inebriated by suckling the form of the early rainwater with his intoxicated the fish. All the queen wailed and wept. How can this great misfortune be described? At the sound of their wail, sorrow itself was sorrow full, and the endurance could no longer endure. Endurance could no longer endure. Endurance means the ability to endure an unpleasant or difficult process. The ability to endure an unpleasant or difficult process or situation without giving way. The capacity of something to last or withstand wear and tear. Ayodhya was in the great tumult at the sound of the outrage of the royal Kairakam. It seemed as if a cruel thunderbolt had fallen at night on the large habitants of birds. The life breath of the king had now stuck to his throat. He felt uneasy like a serpent robbed of its shape. All his senses were belied as a cluster of the lotuses in a lake that had been left without water. When Kaushalya saw the kings with her withered and blasted, she concluded in her mind that the sun of the solar race was about to set. Summoning up courage, therefore, Sri Rama mother spoke words appropriate to the occasions. Ponder in your heart, my lord, and reflect that separation from Rama is a vast ocean. You are as husbands and the Ayodhya, the bark which has been boarded by our near and dear ones as its passengers. We can hope to reach a shore only if you have patience. If not, the whole family will be drawn. If you take to the heart the entire entity of the mind, my beloved Lord, we are sure to see Rama, Lakshmana, and the Sita again. Hearing these short words of his beloved queen, the king opened his eyes and looked up like a writing rash fish that has been sprinkled with cold water. Recovering himself, the king got up and sat down. Tell me, Sumantra, where is my gracious Rama? Where is Lakshmana and where my loving Rama? Where is my beloved daughter-in-law Videhi? The restless monarch wailed in many ways. The night seemed to him like an age, and he felt his thought in it would never end. He was remained on the blind hermit curse as he narrated the whole story of Kaushalya. He was filled with agony as he related the circumstances while on the hope of surviving without Rama. What shall I gain, Sri Ramayana? By preserving his body, which he has failed to keep my woe to love. To the lighter of the Raghu, who are dear to me as life, already I have lived too long without you. Janka's daughter and Lakshmana, chief of the Raghu line, who gladdens the loving heart of your father as a rain cloud, delight the Chakura birds, crying Rama, Rama, and Rama, and yet again Rama, Rama, Rama. The king cast off his body in his agony of the separation from the chief of the Raghulite and ascends to the abode of gods. It was King Dashatha who reaped the reward both of his life and death. His untarnished fame spread through a number of universes. As long as he lived in, he gazed on the Sri Rama's moonlight countenance and brought glory to his death by making the separation from Sri Rama his excuse for it. Stricken with grief, all the queens wept and praised his comeliness of form, amiable manner, bodily might and majesty. They lamented in a variety of ways, throwing themselves upon the ground again and again. Men servants, maid servants, alike wailed in anguish, and there was weeping in every house throughout the cities. Today has set the sun of the solar rays, the perfection of the rightness, the repository of the beauty and the virtue. Everyone abused Keke, who had robbed the world of its very eyes. In this way, they wailed till the close of the night, when all the great and the enlightened hermits arrived. Then the sage Vashishta narrated number of legends befitting the occasions and dispersed the gloom that hung over them all by the light of his wisdom. The sage caused a boat to fill with oils and had a king's body placed in it. The guards against decomposition. He then summoned envoys and spoke to them. Thus, run quickly and go to the Bharta, but break not the news about the king to anyone at any place. Approaching Bharta, tell him only this much. The preceptor has sent for you two brothers. Hearing the sales orders, the courier rushed along with a speed that would put an excellent steed to shame. Even since things begins to take vicious turns in Ayodhya, even when occurs before Bharta, he saw fearful dreams at night and the walking indeed indulges in all sorts of the unpleasant speculations. He would perform consecrations waters over Bhagwan Shiva in various ways and invoking the great Lord in his heart back to him the welfare of his parents, family, and the half brothers. His Bertha was thus passing the anxious time. The courier arrived, and hearing the Guru's commands, he proceeded with the invocations of the Lord Ganesha. uh, urging the horse to run as fast as wind. He went on his journey, crossing difficult streams, hills, and the forest. There was such a great anxiety in his heart that nothing would please him. He brought to him would that I could fly home. Every moment hung heavy like a year. In this way, Bhartas drew near to the city. Even omens occurred to him as he entered the city. Crowds called in his ominous way at undesirable places. Donkeys and jackals gave a cry that foreboded evils and which pierced Bhartas to the heart as he listened to it. The lakes and the rivers, blooms and the gardens had lost their charms. while the city was particularly dismissal look. Birds and fawn, horses and the elephants were too rash to look at, undone by the shriRam. Undone by the felt disease of the separation from the Rama. The people of the city, both men and women, were extremely miserable, as to all the men them has lost everything they had in their possessions. The citizens met him, but spoke not a word. They made obeisance and quickly passed on. Bharata too could not inquire after their welfare, his mind being oppressed with the fear and the grief. The bazaars and the street revealed the sight as though as a wild configuration had broken out in the city of all the sight. Keke, who was the solar rays, was the moon in to the lotuses, but rejoiced to hear of her son's approach, preparing lights to waving round his head. She sprang up and ran glad at heart, and meeting him at the very door, conducted him into the apartment. Bharata saw with the wonder that where the household with a rash appearance like a bed of lotuses blasted by the forest. Taking was as happy as a Bhila woman who had set a whole forest ablaze. Seeing her son melancholy and the depressed in spirit, she asked him, "Is all well in my mother's house?" Bharata assured her that everything was well and then inquired after the health and the welfare of his family. "Tell me, where is my father? Where all mothers, and where is the Sita and my beloved brother Sri Rama and the Lakshmana?" On hearing her son's affectionate words, the sinful woman brought crocodile tears of her eyes and spoke words that pierced her eyes, ears, and soul as so many shafts. "I have accomplished everything for you, my son, and poor Mantra has been of the great help to me. Only God has married our plan as little before they could be completed. The king has departed to the Indra's paradise. As soon as he heard of this, Bharta was overcome with grief as the elephant who is terrified at the roar of the lion, crying, "Fathers, fathers, our fathers, here." He fell to the ground, much agitated. "I could not see you before you left, nor did you, my father, entrust me to the care of Sri Rama." Then, collecting himself, he got up with some effort and said, "Tell me, mother, the cause of my father's dismiss." Hearing the words of her son, he replies as one who had cut a vital part and inserted poison into it. With a glad heart, and the cruel and the weak woman recounted from the very beginning all that she had done. Hearing the Sri Rama's exile to the forest, Bharata brought his father's death, and realizing in his heart that he was a root of a if he remained mute and stupefied at the root, here that he was at the root of if it he remained mute and stupefied. Observing his son's distress, she comforted him like one who applied salt to a burn. "The king, my son, is not fit for lamentation. He not only reaped a rich harvest of the merit and renown, but enjoyed life also. During his lifetime, he obtained all the rewards of human existence, and in the end ascended to the abode of the Indra, the Lord of Importance, pondering the sea, sorrowing, and rule the kingdom with all its limbs, such as the army, the exchequers means the royal and national treasury army, the royal and national treasury army, royal and the organized military force equipped with fighting on land, army, exchequer, the minister, and so on. The prince was utterly dismissed to hear these words, and though a fastering soul had been touched by a live coal, feastering sore has been touched. Feastering means forming, but feastering sore has been touched by the live coal. Recovering himself, he heaved a deep sigh and said, "O woman, you have brought complete ruin to our family. If you bore such deep malice, why did you not kill me as soon as I was born? Cutting down the trees, you have watered a leaf, and you have drained the pond for keeping the fish alive. Coming my descent from the sun gods and the king Dasharatha for my father and the Rama and the Lakshmana to my brother, I have had you, mother, for my mother. One is the powerless against providence." Shri Ramayana. The moment of malicious movement. oh malicious, you contrive the evil design in your mind. How is it your heart did not break into the pieces? While asking for the boon, did you not conceive or concise pinch you? Your tongue did faster, nor did your mouth become free from my gut. How did the king trust you? Surely God must have robbed him on his sense on the evening of his death. Even the creators has not been able to know the working of the woman's heart, the repository of the all deceit, sins, and the wise, simple, amiable, and pious as the king was. How could he know the nature of the woman? What living creature is there in this world to whom the Lord of Prabhu is not dear as life itself? Yet even the Rama appeared to you as the great enemy. Tell me the truth. Therefore, to what species do you belong? Whatever you may be, you had better rub your face with the inks and leaving my presence, remove the subplace out of my sight. Nay, God has created me out of one Keke so Shira, 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 Shira. Who said to Rama, who is there so sinful as myself? In vain, therefore, do I taunt you. When Shatrugna heard of the mother Kaikeyi's witness, he burns all over with rage, but there was no help. That very moment came the humpback Mithra, clad in the variety of rich costumes and adorned with the various ornaments. The very sight of that woman filled Lakshmana's younger brother with anger, as though clarified butter has been poured into fire. Springing towards, he kicked her with such steady aim at the hump that she felt on her face and the scream aroused. Her hump was smashed, her head split, and her teeth broken, and her mouth emitted blood. Ah, my God, what harm have I done? Surely this is an ill recompense of my services. Hearing this and seeing her vile form had to full, Shatrugana, the slayer of his foes, seized her by the hair on her head and began to drag her till the merciful Bharta recused us. The two brothers then called on the mother Kaushalya. In sordid attire, pale, agitated, and oppressed with woe, with his wasted frame, she looked like a lovely celestial that creeps of the gold blasted by the frost in the forest. When Mother Kaushalya saw Bharata, she sprang up and ran to meet him, but she felt giddy and dropped unconscious on the ground. Bharata was deeply moved to see her plight and threw himself on her feet, forgetting the condition of his own body. Mother, show me my father. Where is Sita and the two brothers, Shirama and Lakshmana? Why was their king born into the world at all? And if born, why did she not remain barren instead of bearing me? A blot on my family, a very stink of infamy and the enemy of the near and the dear ones. Who is in these three spheres so wretched as I, on whose account, mother, you have been reduced to such a plight. My father is in heaven. Plight means a dangerous, difficult, and unfortunate situation is called plight. A dangerous, difficult, and otherwise unfortunate situation is called plight. A dangerous, difficult, or unfortunate situation is called plight. My father is in heaven, and the shriRama, the chief of Raghuline, is the word. It is I who, like a soothing stars, am responsible for the whole trouble. Woe be to me, who have proved to be for my family a very fine among the bamboos and the victim of terrible agony, suffering, and tensions. On hearing Bharta's tender words, Kaushalya rose with renewed efforts and lifting him to the clasp to his bosom while tears streamed from her eyes. Clueless by the nature, Mother Kaushalya pressed him to her bosom at most afflictions as though Sri himself had come back. She then embraced Lakshmana's younger brother Shatrugna. Her heart was too full of grief and love. Everyone who saw her loving disposition said Rama was Rama's brother, that she is no wonder she would be so loving. The mother seated Bharta in her lap and weeping away his tears spoke to him in the soothing words, I adjure you, my child, to compose yourself even now, knowing this to be the unpropitious time. Sorrow no more. Take not the heart the loss we have sustained, and feel no remorse of it, remembering that the course of time and fate is unalterable. Do not blame anyone, my son. It is Providence that has turned hostile to me in every way, and when he makes me survive even under such trying circumstances, who know that may be his pleasure with regard to me even now, regard to me with his pleasure and regard to me even now, regard to me, regard means regard to me regard means He considered or think in a specified way. Regard to me even now. Pleasure in regard to me. Sri Rama, I know. At his father's behest, dear child, the hero of Raghunath Day, discarded his ornaments and fiercely appears and put on the hermit dress consisting of bark of the trees without either sorrow of or exclusions. With a cheerful countenance and without either joy or anger, he comforted all the everywhere and proceeded to the forest. Hearing his Sita followed him and would not stay, devoted as she was to the Rama's feet. Krishna also, when he heard this, sprang up and accompanied him. He would not be left behind, even though the Lord of the Raghu tried his best to detain him. The Lord of Raghu then bowed his head to all and departed with Sita and his younger brother Lakshmana. So Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita left for the woods where I neither accompanied them nor sent my soul after them, leaving my body here. All this happens before these eyes, and yet his rash soul did not take leave of the body. I am not ashamed of my love to think that a son like Rama should leave his a mother like me. The king knew how to live and how to die, whereas my heart is 100 times harder than adamant. Hearing Kaushalya's or Bharata and the whole Ganekam were in distress, the king place seems to be very about of the sorrow, 100 times harder than the adamant. Now Sita left in the woods as and much agitated, the two brothers Bharata and Shatrugna loudly lamented, and Kaushalya clasped them to his bosom. She comforted Bharata in many ways and tendered words of the wisdom to him. Bharata, to his turn, consoled all the mothers, narrating legends from the Puranas and the Vedas, joining both his farms. He addressed them in humorous, innocent, simple, and charming words. The sins attaching to the mother of the mother, father, son, and to the act of setting fire to a top pen of the village of the Brahmins and those incurred by the slain woman or child, and by administering poison to the friend or a monarch, nay, all the major and the minor sins of thoughts, words, and deeds that have been enumerated by the seers, that let all such sins be mine. If my mother, this plot has my concurrence. May Providence abandon me the fate of those who, forsaking the feet of Shri and Lord Shiva worship frightful ghosts. If mother, I had complicity in this plot. If mother, this has my approval. Let me share the terrible fate of those who sell the Vedas, exploit their piety, are driven to backbiting and expose other sins, who were deceitful, weak, quarrelsome, and irascible, who revile the Vedas and the hostile to the world, nay, who are greedy and lecherous and behave as the rapacious to, and who cast their eyes on others' wealth and the others' wives. Nay, mother, if I even knew the secrets, may Lord Shiva Lord me the fate of those rash who love not the company of the virtuous, who have rejected the path leading to God realizations, who worship not Shri Hari, even though blessed with a human form, and take no delight in the glory of Shri Hari and Lord Shiva, who have abandoned the path of Vedas and follow the contrary way, and who are impostors and deceive the world by assuming false appearance. Hearing Bharta's truthful, artless, and sincere words, Mother Kaushal says, "You, my dear child, have always been beloved Rama in thoughts, words, and deed. Rama is the dearer to you than you of your own life, and likewise you are dearer to the Lord of Raghu than his own life. The moon may refuse question through her rays, and now snow emits fires, nay, an aquatic creature may shun water, and spiritual enlightenment may fail to eradicate it. But in no cause will you turn hostile to Rama. Those is the word who leaves the plot may was contrived with your convenience shall never attain happiness or salvation even redeemed. So saying Mother Kaushalya clasped Bharta to her bosom. Milk began to flow from her breast and her eyes filled with tears. In this way they squared away the whole night, laminating in profusions. The sage Vamadeva and the Vashishta then came and summoned all the ministers and the elite of the city. Vashishta admonished Bharata in many ways, speaking to him words of the wisdom appropriate to the occasions. Have courage in your heart, yes, and not the occasion demands today. Hearing these preceptors, Bharata rose and asked everything to be got ready. He had the king's body washed in accordance with the Vedic rites and caused a most splendid funeral by shriRam. For prepared to him, clasping the feet of the mother Bharta prevented them from ascending the funeral pyre. They all stayed behind in the hope of the seeing shriRama. Their arrival made many loads of the sandalwoods and around and diverse other excellent aromatic herbs of the untold varieties. The pile was raised in the ascetic way on the bank of the Salyu River and looked like a lovely ladder reaching to the heavenly to heaven. In this way, all the rites of the ceremony were gone through, and then the further party bathed with Hindu ceremony and offered a handful of water and sesame seed to the departed soul. After citing the views of all the Smriti texts, the Vedas, and the Puranas, Bharta performed the ceremony of the Samgarta, whatsoever order to great say Vashishta gave on a particular point, Bharata carried out all of them in thousand ways. He bestowed all sorts of gifts on attaining purity. He gave away cows, horses, elephants, and the convenience of the various sort, convenience of the various sort, and even so thrown ornaments and the costume for food gain, land, money, and the horses. And the Brahmins had all their desire fulfilled on receiving them. Whatever right Bharata performed for the benefit of his father, in the other words, were more than 100,000 tongues could recount. Then, after determining an auspicious day, the great Sikh Shishta came and summoned all the ministers as well as the light of the day. They all repaired to the council chamber and sat there. The two brothers Bharata and Shunga were also sent for Sri Ramayana. Vashishta seated Bharata by his sides and spoke to him, were full of wisdom and piety. First of all, the great Sikh repeated the whole story of Kakai's really doing and paid his tribute to the war of piety and the truthfulness of the king Dashrata, who remained true to his loves even at the cost of his life. And as a great hermit spoke to Sri Rama's virtue and ability and the kind dispositions, tears came to his eyes and thrilled him through their body. Again, when he extolled the affection that Rama, Lakshmana, and the Sita bore towards Rama, the enlightened Sikh was overwhelmed with grief and emotions. Listen, Bharta, formidable is the fate, the Lord of the Sikh, sorrowfully exclaimed, loss and gain, life and death, glory and infamy, all these lies in the hand of the providence. Arguing thus, whom should we blame and with whom should we be angry without any cause? Ponder in your heart, my son, that King Dashika is no worth grieving for. Pitiable is the Brahman who ignorant the Vedas and who has abandoned his duties and grows in the pleasure of the senses. Pitiable is the king who has not knowledge of polity and who does not love his people as his own life. Pitiable the Vaishya, the member of the trading class who is decorating through riches and who is not perfection in prosperity nor in devotion to the Lord Shiva. Pitiable is the Shudra, the member of the laboring or artisan class who is disrespectful towards the Brahmans, the officious and the proud of his knowledge and love to be honored. Pitiable again is the woman who deceive her husband, is crooked and quarrelsome and follow her own will. Pitiable is the religious student who break his vows and obey not the order of the preceptor. The pitiable is the household who out of ignorance forsake the path of duty and pitiable the recluse who is attached to the words and lack discretion and dissipation. Pitiable is the android who has given happiness and developed a liking for the luxuries. Pitiable is the backbiter who is angry without cause and as enemy of his own parent, preceptor, and brother. Pitiable is everyone, every way is he who harmed others, cherished his own body, and exceedingly heartless. And pitiable is every respect is he who is not sincerely devoted to Sri Rama. The Lord of Kosha is not worth grieving for. His glory being manifest throughout all the 14 years. There never was, nor is, nor shall be there hereafter a monarch like your father Bharta, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Indra, the Lord of Celestial and the guardian of the quarters, all sing praises of the King Dashratha. Tell me, dear child, who can glorify him, who for begot such pious sons as Rama, Lakshmana, Shatrugana, and yourself? The king was blessed in every way. It is no use mourning for him, hearing and realizing his sorrow no more, and reverently obey the king's command. The king has bestowed the kingship on you. It bestowed means what do you mean by the bestowed kingship to you? It behoves you. Bestow means confer a present or honor or gift. Confer a present or honor a gift. It behoved you therefore to redeem the word of your father, who abandoned Rama for the sake of his words and quitted his body in his anguish of the separation from the Rama. The king did not love his own life as he did his words. Therefore, dear son, redeem your father's words. Reverently obey the king's commands. This will do you good in every way. Parshurama executed the command of his father and killed his own mother. The whole world will bear testimony to this fact. Yayati's sons Peru exchanged his own youth for his old age of his fathers and incurred no sin or blame because he did not obedience of his father's commands. Those who cherish their father's words, minding not whether it is reasonable or otherwise, attain happiness and fair renown, and dwell in the abode of the Indra, the Lord of the immortals. Therefore, you need must redeem the king's word, cherish your subjects, and cease to grieve. The king is heaven will derive solace, while you will earn merits and the good fame, and shall incur no blame. It is well known in the Vedas and has the sanctions of the all that the crown goes to him on whom the father bestow it. Therefore, rule the kingdom, feel no remorse, and accept my advice as salutary. Rama and the Vidya's daughter Sita will be gratified when they hear of it, and no wise man will call it wrong. Kaushalya and all the other mothers too will be happy in the happiness of the people. Nay, he who will know the supreme in affinity between you and the Rama will shall perfect goodwill towards you. When Rama returns home, you may hand over the kingdom to him and serve him with ideal affection. The minister submitted with joined palms. You need must obey the order of your preceptor. When the Lord of the Rule come back, you may do what you think fit them. Summoning courage, Kaushalya said, Salutarily, my son, is your Guru's commands. The same should be respected and obeyed by you as conductive to your good. Cease to grieve, realizing the vicissitudes of the life. The Lord of the Raghu is in the forest, and the king is in heaven, the abode of the gods. While you, my son, are thus giving me to faint heartedness, you, my child, are the only support of all, including your family, subjects, ministers, and all your mothers. Perceiving the antipathy of gods and the relentless of fate, I adjure you by my life to have courage, reverently obey your Guru's commands, cherish your subjects and relieve the affliction of your family. Cherish your subjects and relieve the affliction of your family. Cherish your subject and relieve the affliction of your family. Bharata listened to the advice of the perceptive minister, appeal and rousing the same, which were as a soothing to his heart and center page. His further here the mother's soft words, imbued with the nectar of amiability, affection, and grew restless. Bharata grew restless when he heard Mother Kaushalya's speech, imbued as it was with the nectar of sincerity. His lotus eyes shed tears and watered the fresh shoot of the desolation in his heart. All those who saw his condition at the time who are forget their own existence. Everyone says Tulsidas Urendi extolled him in the perfection of the artless love. Joining his lotus palm, Bharata, who was foremost among the strong minded, took courage and proceeded to give befitting replies to all that were steeped as it were in nectar. Shri Ramayana, post 17, 18 for the 30 days recitation. Shri Ramayana, Shri Ramayana, Shri Ramayana, Shri Ramayana. Shri Ramayana, 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 Shri Ramayana,